He said, I don't care how big this goal is. I'm going to go after it, not with like a 20% force or a 30% force or 40% force. You went after it with like 100%. 100% force. All your being, all your energy. When is the last time you did that? And think back. Actually think back. When did you do that? Was it sports? Was it business? Was it an adventure that you went on? What was it? I'm going to tell you a story here, and it relates to this mode of life that I call it God mode, but some people they'll call it like a monk mode, or maybe it's just like kind of living on the edge or out of the comfort zone. I look at it as God mode. God mode is when you're living all out. All right, you're living at the offensive, not the defensive. The game of life is less of a defensive, like kind of stockpile your pennies, like we'll figure it out one day. It's really just like a total fucking war. You just went to total fucking war with life, okay? And it's a risk. It's a big risk, and it requires less thinking, okay? But first, why in the fuck aren't people living like that in the first place? What's going on? What happened that caused this? That caused a disruption in this pattern of our soul energy of, like, our soul wants to do that. Our soul wants to live all out. And now I want to ask you, last time when you recalled that incident in your mind, when you went all out, and maybe you didn't go all out at one point in your life, but if you're thinking about the time you went all out, how did life feel? Was it colorful? Was it crisp? Was it fresh? Was it exciting? Did life have this like grand meaning? Did you feel like you were on your purpose? Did you feel fire in your belly? Did you feel excitement and vigor? That's really the way that we should be feeling. And if you've never felt that, stick to the end of this, because I'm going to show you an action step that you can actually implement today that's going to get you in the process of feeling that way. Now, when I was long time ago, it was probably 6-7 years ago at this point. I was always on these adventures. All right, I remember I was shark fishing. I was learning how to catch I was trying to catch the biggest shark I could catch. That was my sole purpose in life. Thinking back now, I probably should have been like studying or figuring out how to make money or something. But for me, like, I wanted to catch the biggest shark. And hey, if it got me out of the house, then that's great. But and this is in Florida, so if you've never seen a shark, like they're swimming around Florida, and I used to catch them from land. And I basically went to Miami, I went to the Keys, I went all over. I traveled all over Florida, and I would put myself in increasingly more dangerous positions and in situations, and my parents and my grandparents and my family, they were kind of like, hey, you should be careful, like you should relax, like slow it down a little bit. But what that did and what that cultivated in me is a level of just risk tolerance that a lot of people don't have. And it's not saying like I'm the greatest guy ever and like you should just totally take after me, because actually risk tolerance got me into a lot of trouble multiple times in the past. But what I will say is it gave me more experience and more XP points, you could say, throughout my life that gave me like confidence to know that, hey, I'm gonna be fine no matter what happens, because I've been in this situation before. Okay. But the way I was living, every week was different. Every day was shaded with a new adventure. It was colorful. It was vibrant. There was always something to do. There was a lot of ups and downs, and there was a lot of like pain that would result in a big win and a big glory. And life had meaning. Life meant something. Now you're probably looking at your life right now, and it probably feels like a stale, sterile, like in a circle rat race type of feeling. and you're probably fed up with it because you can't live that way for much longer, because it's not just going to kill you, it's going to kill your soul. You're going to feel down, depressed, and that's probably why you're feeling depressed right now. So this is what shakes you up out of it. This is how you get back into the life of a grand adventure. It's how your life could be, and it's getting out of that defensive, overthinking state. Looking inward and thinking, inward and thinking, inward and thinking, and that's what you've been doing. You've been living a whole life in your head, when in reality, life is out there, bro. Life is out there. And I want to ask you, I'm not throwing shade, dude, but like at the end of the day, when's the last time you had like an awesome date? Whether you're with a girlfriend now, you're married, or you have you're single. When's the last time you went like an amazing, fun, fresh, feminine/masculine adventure? When's the last time you just went into the nature and just got lost, right? When's the last time that you jumped in some cold water? Just woke up, just kind of like just went into it, just went after it. When's the last time you invested in yourself? You made a big purchase. It was scary. It was like on the edge of your chair, and you got on a sales call with a random stranger and bought something. And you just said, fuck it, let's go. I'm fucking ready. I'm stepping up. When's the last time you felt that? When's the last time you stopped just like trying to save every penny that you made with your job that pays you garbage money and stuffing it in a savings account, instead of just actually going and finding something that's going to make you a higher income? I'm more fed up for those around me than they should be. You should be fed up. You should be over that. You should stop living like this. It's not how life was meant to be. But here's what's actually happening. Here's the structure of it, and here's how to regain your confidence. All right? I'm not just going to make you feel bad. I'm going to give you a tool. I'm going to give you tools to get yourself out of this. Now, first of all, this is a game of energy. All right? I want you to think about water. Right? Water, depending on varying degrees, will crystallize, and we call that ice. It gets really, really cold. It gets really dense and hard. Okay? It gets really, really, really cold, and it's like a brick. Okay? And then you heat it up, and what happens is it starts to get more fluid. Then it boils, and then it turns into steam, and it totally evaporates. Okay? So at the top of this chart, we have this steam. At the bottom of the chart, we have a dense piece of material, all right? A very, very cold, densified rock, okay? That is energy. That is how energy works on this plane of existence. And your frequency, your vibratory frequency, is what's going to dictate your thought patterns. Your thoughts, the way you think, is being dictated by the energy that you're sitting in. So now imagine you've got this kind of same thing going on with the water, but going on in your surroundings and in your mind. When you're like totally moving around, all of those thought particles are just bouncing everywhere. It feels kind of chaotic. It feels there's movement. And then what happens is everything is brighter and lighter and fresher and fun and different and exciting. And you're in a high frequency at that point. But in the frequency you're in now, it's stale, like I said, sterile, it's dense, it feels heavy, maybe you feel judged, maybe you feel like you lack purpose, there's nothing fun going on, there's nothing to do, there's no adventure. You're probably feeling suppressed and stuck. And why do the people say they're stuck? When in reality, you have a physical body, you can kind of just do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can really get up. I could walk to across the state right now if I wanted to. If I wanted to. And would I be stuck? Not really. I'd be going somewhere. So logically, you can't be stuck. But when you're stuck, you're actually stuck mentally. All right? Hear me out. You're stuck mentally. When you're stuck mentally, it means all of that energy has been densified, crushed down. You've been beaten down. You're thinking back to the last time you tried to get out of your comfort zone and do something and it didn't work out. You're thinking back to like how things used to be, and they were better days back then, and they're gone forever, and you're feeling grief. Maybe you're feeling fear because, like, hey, I don't want to do that. Like, what happens if I fail? What happens if I screw up? I got kids, I got a wife, I got people to take care of. Maybe you got agreements with all these people. You have a boss that you don't want to let down. Maybe he's like some old man, and you just can't let him go. You can't let things go. So you're mentally hooking yourself. Imagine like beams of energy that are like chains stuck to everything around you, and you can't let yourself out. Now, this doesn't mean don't get in a relationship. This doesn't mean don't go do things. All right? This doesn't mean don't make agreements with people. What this means, though, is to not let it affect you. So you're stuck because you're stuck in this dense energy. Now, I want you to understand that energy, as soon as you get it moving again, you start to melt it down, and it starts to steam up again. Now it starts moving around, and then it's more fluid and it's more flexible. All right? But it's gonna take you deep down. You gotta pull your will out. You gotta pull your antagonism out. You gotta get fucking pissed, right? Because the way that this works is you're like a dial. You're like an energy dial, and at the bottom of the dial is low energy. At the top of the dial is the highest energy. And you, even though you don't realize it, you have total control over that dial. Yeah, maybe you gotta like chip the rust off of it. Maybe you gotta start to move it a little bit. It's gonna be tough. It might take a couple days, but you have total the ability to kind of crank that dial back up. Okay? And it's gonna require a lot of energy to get you out of this situation. It's gonna require a lot. Now, what you're gonna do is, if you're depressed, if you're in a low energy, you're gonna get yourself to a higher energy. So you need to be real with yourself. Where are you energetically? Are you afraid? Are you depressed? Are you apathetic? Are you feel lost? Are you angry? Are you resentful? Are you spiteful? Are you just bored? Right? If you're fearful, depressed, lost, that's going to require you to get freaking angry. If you're apathetic, it's going to require you to get afraid. Okay? So if you're apathetic, if you keep this up, if you keep doing what you're doing, you will waste your fucking existence. You will have a suffering that you have never imagined. Because you are here for other people. You're here to share a gift, and you're not sharing it. And what that does is that ruins other people's lives. So you are totally out of integrity. So you need to get upset. You need to get afraid. Because look, what happens if you continue doing this? What's going to happen to your health? What's going to happen to your family? What's going to happen to you financially? You're going to live on food stamps the rest of your life? You're going to feel like you're going to get more depressed. It's going to get worse. Nothing stays the same. Everything is entropy. Entropy means as time goes on, things get more chaotic and more spread out. It's the nature of the universe. So you are only going to go down. Now, you could also be going up. That's why we need more energy. Now, if you're afraid, get fucking pissed. Your life sucks. Why are you okay with that? Break through. Do something. Stop wasting away. Why are you okay with that? Be sick of it. Stop letting people watch you be a afraid little coward. Get up! So now you can probably tell your energy's a little higher. My energy's a little higher because I'm fucking pissed for you. Alright? Now, while you're in that energy, you can go and do something. You actually have some fuel in the gas tank. Hell yeah! Take that and confront your boss. Take that and confront, the spouse that's making you feel less than. Have that tough conversation with somebody that needs to be spoken to. Do something that requires more energy, and it will start to get the ball moving a little bit. And then as you start to do it more and more, you're gonna gain momentum. You're gonna gain momentum because you're getting small wins. You're getting little wins. You're winning a little by little by little. You're getting some traction. And as you get some traction, do not stop. Keep fucking going. Keep pushing through, because that's what's going to get you through every single level of this energetic maze that we're living in. Now you're becoming more steam. You're becoming more movement. All right? You're becoming more energy and less like a big hunk of clay laying on the fucking ground like an apathetic fucking slob. Now you can start to go to the gym. You can start to make some moves. You can start to get fit. You can start to get some girls. Now we're in a higher frequency. You got to raise your energy. You got to get out there. You got to adventure. All right. Now let's talk about confidence, because this is all tying into this. So you understand that this is a game of energy. As your energy dips, you're going to do stupid shit. As your energy increases, you're going to feel better about yourself, about the game that you're playing, about the world around you, and it's going to make more sense. Now, what you're going to want to do is we want to understand the kind of the structure of confidence, because sometimes you get to such a high energy that you feel like you can do anything. And for the most part, you kind of can, right? Because you just kind of get it, right? You're more rational. But, I see people, they get way overconfident, and they've never been in a certain place. They don't understand what is to come. So they just start kind of bum rushing through, and they start getting hit, and then their energy dips again. Your confidence, there's two types of confidence that you can have. And back to the beginning of this, you've probably met people who were like totally suave, totally confident. They had this air of charisma. You've also seen people that they seemed that way, and then they kind of broke down a little bit. And then you see some people that they're just like deeply confident, and you can just tell that it's real. Now, there is confidence that is built upon your results, all right? And you have total right to be confident in that area. So if you have a skill, if you're the best ping pong player in the world, you're going to be a lot more confident on a ping pong table than you are going and, racing cars, right? You're just going to be more confident naturally. So there's three kind of layers here. There's the logical confidence, right? Where there's logically you should be confident. There is a spiritual confidence, and then there's the action confidence. Now the spiritual confidence, this is a different type of confidence. This is confidence to know yourself. All right. Now this is the journey that most people are unwilling to do. All right. So they just kind of take some kind of spiritual principle. They hang on to that as I already got that box checked off. I'm not going to go down that path. I'm not going to go down on that adventure. I'm just going to put that off to the side. I know that, there's whatever religion or whatever spiritual thing that's out there. I get it. Then what happens is they get some kind of thing in the physical universe, it fucks them up. They get some kind of problem thrown at them. And it's a big one. It's like, woof, it really fucks with them. Then they get more spiritual. That's when they start to realize that there's some spiritual mechanics at play here. So you might want to start with that, because you got to really know yourself, and there's a level of confidence that you have when you realize you're infinite. Before you click off, because you're probably thinking to yourself, oh my God, I'm not infinite, ask yourself this question more often, because I'm telling you, you're probably denying yourself. You're probably being less of yourself, and you're probably wearing way too many masks. And when those masks get ruptured, you get hit, you lose it, and then it's like shaken all of these masks and these personas that you've built up over time that aren't actually you, and you've lost it, and people start to think you're inauthentic. I feel like you're weird. You're adding layers. It's not actually you. So what you might want to do is start to cultivate and start to just let yourself out a little bit more. And that's going to require you to get into some situations. All right? The best place to start is socially. Go out and find something about yourself that you don't want people to know. Go just like, hey, maybe you like anime. Yo, what's up? I like anime. Go talk to some people. Tell them, I like anime. I like anime. Love me some anime. Dragon Ball Z, fucking best episode. This one, whatever. I don't know anything about it. But just go showcase it and start to let this stuff out a little bit, and you'll see it'll kind of unravel. All right? So there's this deep spiritual, I'm an infinite being confidence that, like, it's unlike any other. So, like, you could be, like, I could go on a ping pong match with the worst ping pong, like, the best ping pong player in the world. I'm not, like, I know I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm the worst at this, and it's totally funny, and I'm not putting any of my identity into this. My identity is totally clean. I'm just going to be like, yo, I might lose, but I'm confident enough to even be here. That's the difference. So there's this kind of eternal confidence that you're going to want to cultivate, because you're going to require it going out into the world and expanding. All right? Then there's the logical confidence, and then there's the action confidence. This is when you don't really have an option but to take a risk. All right? Especially as it relates to finding information and to gather data. So I want you to understand this. This is why I'm saying you got to be offensive in this life, and you got to start to go after shit. So what happens is you're going to hit a point. Let's say this is you moving through time, and there's right here is that barrier that's like a lot of fear, it's a lot of doubt, it's a lot of hesitancy, because this is where the reach of your data, this is where you have less data, is essentially what it is. So what that means is, for example, we have a map of the world, and let's say, you leave Earth and you go out on a spaceship and you start to get out, and we have a map of the solar system, we have a map of the universe, and you start to go farther to where there's no map. And when there's no map, that means we haven't gathered data because we haven't been there before, so naturally you're going to feel insecure. You're going to feel like, I don't know what's next. I don't know if a big fucking space monster is going to come eat the ship, right? So this is your limit of data, okay? So that's what's going to create the emotions to start to spur off. Now what you need to do is this is where you have to have the confidence of action, to know that you have a process of being able to process data really fast and to kind of build the bridge along the way. All right? So if you've ever crossed a river that didn't really have a path, I've seen this before. I don't know what movie it was, or I think I've done it. But basically, you can take a rock and you can plop it into the river, and that gives you kind of some footing, and you can step on it. Let's say you have two rocks, but there isn't any other bridge. Then you go back and grab the first rock that you stepped on and put that in front of you, then go and step back onto that rock, and then you go back to the other rock, and then you keep plopping them and you keep cycling them through, and that gets you across the river. Okay? You only had two rocks, but you made the most of it. It's just the same with the data that you're collecting, or we could call it your reference experience, or we can call it your XP points, but it's like the level, that's where like the edge is, that edge of the game. And that's where things get interesting. So you gotta prepare. You have to have that spiritual certainty. You have to have that action certainty, but you also have to have some skill certainty to know that you can bring that into it. You gotta have some kind of just logical certainty as well. So those are kind of like the three pillars of confidence that is going to give you kind of this, like, it's going to give you kind of like an air. It's going to give you kind of a charisma that is unlike any other. And it's going to be what pulls to you opportunities and experiences that you want to have. Now, that's where life is lived. You got to live it on the edge. You got to realize that you're supposed to be there. That's what's giving you an experience, and that's what's also carving the path for other people and giving other people an experience that they want. Because if somebody didn't go and invent a random plane and then try it out, not knowing if it's going to work or not, then we wouldn't be going on 747 jets all across the world, and the world wouldn't have been revolutionized. You are supposed to live at your edge, and that is where your purpose is. That's where something that doesn't exist will exist because of your manifestation abilities as a being. You can make things exist. But if you're not leaning in and you're not doing things that have never been done because you're trying to find certainty, or you're trying to find other people with more confidence to follow their path, then you're a fucking sheep. Then you're a sheep. Go sheep, go be herded around. You know how many people I've seen, they're wearing other people's brands. They're doing the things that other people do. They're trying to copy and mimic, and it's not you. You are supposed to be out in left fucking field over here. You're supposed to be doing something that is totally foreign, because that's what's actually going to move the world forward. But it's scary, and you want somebody to tell you what to do, and you're looking for some help, and you want it's just shut up. Your mind is lying to you. Your mind is lying to you. Go do something that has never been done before. What's the fucking worst that's going to happen? What's the worst that is going to happen? Yeah, you die. Maybe you die. Maybe you run out of money. Whatever. Just go back into another body, right? Go fucking manifest yourself back into a different, go reincarnate and go do something else. Figure it out. You'll do fine. You'll do fine if you start to carry this energy, because that's the nature of this energy. That's why they're like, the confident guy always gets what he wants, and the little insecure people, they fucking perish. So you probably have a higher chance of perishing by being a wimp, and you have a lower chance of perishing by actually doing the dangerous, risky stuff. So you might as well choose the path that has the greatest good for the greatest number of people. So go do that. All right, that's the game. That's how you play it on offense. That's how you play on fucking God mode. So go play God mode, and I will see you on the other side. Peace.